I could absolutely see a total house cleaning. And it could happen before the end of the year.
And you act like you like him. That is the only way you save his job. Because right now you're putting him out there because you don't like him. And that's the only way I can say it, because that's the body language you give me. That's the answers you give me. So that's how I got to take it, because I'm not in the Cleveland Browns locker room.
Are you moving on from Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski? Like, you've got to make that decision to me if you're Mr. Haslam, right? Because two things can't be true in this situation. Like, what's best for the organization can't be what's best for Berry and Stefanski, right?
Jimmy Haslam is in action, and things are getting intense in Cleveland. The future of the Browns is in jeopardy, and reports suggest Haslam is seriously considering cutting ties with head coach Kevin Stefanski. Stefanski has been steadfast in sticking with Dillon Gabriel, even after 5 games where Gabriel has failed to deliver, and the Browns have lost every single one of those games. With the locker room on fire and no clear future for this project, the pressure is mounting. The only way Stefanski might salvage his job? Getting Shedeursanders on the field and succeeding. But despite everything, Stefanski refuses to make the change. Can he turn it around? Or is this the end for him in Cleveland? Let's dive in.
You believe, and many do, that the owner, he's the one that wanted Manziel. He's the one that did Deshaun Watson. He's the one that wanted Baker Mayfield. This is an ownership group that likes headlines at quarterbacks. Shedeur's a headline. Dillon Gabriel's not. I mean, look, we're paying attention to the Cleveland Browns.
Colin Cowherd recently confirmed that Jimmy Haslam is pushing for Shedeursanders to take the field this season. If Stefanski refuses to make that move, it could cost him his job. Haslam signed Sanders with the intention of making him the star of the team, and that's why he brought him in. Remember, Haslam was also behind signing Baker Mayfield and now Shedeur. He's looking for a superstar, but Stefanski isn't delivering that, sticking with Dillon Gabriel instead. Shedeur is the headline name, while Dillon just isn't cutting it. And with the pressure mounting, the situation is getting more critical by the day. Multiple reports from inside the Browns organization are now suggesting that Kevin Stefanski's job is on the line. According to sources, a change is imminent, and Stefanski is the likely candidate to be let go. Garrett Bush pointed out that with the team's losing streak continuing, a move is inevitable, and someone will be forced to take the fall. Jimmy Haslam, as the owner, isn't under pressure, and he has the power to make significant changes in the locker room if needed. It's becoming more apparent that Stefanski's time with the Browns might be coming to an end soon.
And his name is in the mud, and people catch on that you trying to tank, you will become a sacrificial lamb. The collateral damage of losing, someone's going to pay for it. It ain't going to be him. He owned the team. But somebody will fall.
Some players are now speaking out against Stefanski's methods, with Myles Garrett being one of the most vocal. The Browns' star defensive player has publicly expressed his frustration, drawing significant attention. Garrett criticized Stefanski for the team's struggles and openly questioned why Shedeursanders hasn't been given a chance on the roster. He also voiced his dissatisfaction with the offensive play calling, especially the decision to stick with Dillon Gabriel as the starting quarterback. The All-Pro defensive end shared his frustration with the relentless cycle of losses, revealing how mentally exhausting it's been to endure the same disappointing outcomes week after week.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. To lose the same way every time, it's frustrating as hell.
Sources are now reporting that Jimmy Haslam, the team's owner, is growing increasingly frustrated with Stefanski's reluctance to consider other options, especially as the Browns' struggles continue and players begin to speak out. The tension within the organization is becoming hard to ignore. During a recent press conference ahead of the Steelers game, Stefanski's refusal to even acknowledge Shedeursanders raised concerns. This has led to speculation that Stefanski may be completely opposed to the idea of bringing in Sanders, potentially overlooking a game-changing quarterback who could turn things around. This situation is clearly causing tension for Jimmy Haslam, who has been open about his desire to see what both rookies can contribute. Experts have pointed to Shedeursanders as a key player in this scenario, especially since Haslam was the one who pushed to bring Sanders onto the team in the first place. While Stefanski may have tried to shift some blame onto general manager Andrew Berry, the reality is much more complicated. Analysts believe that Stefanski's outright refusal to even consider Sanders as a viable option is fueling Haslam's increasing frustration with the situation.
And the consensus of the people that I've spoken to is this was 100% an owner's pick. You can look at the reactions of Andrew and Kevin, and again, their defense is that those are not synced up. That was not the actual reaction. They'll fight back on this tooth and nail that it was not a Jimmy pick. Here's the
Cam Newton has also weighed in on the situation, offering his perspective on the tension brewing inside the Cleveland Browns locker room. In a recent statement, Newton suggested that Stefanski's refusal to move on from Dillon Gabriel is creating division among the players. He believes the coach's stubbornness could be the reason he's losing the respect of the locker room. This sentiment isn't just coming from Newton. Insiders and analysts are picking up on the same frustrations, with players like Njoku, Cedric, and Judy reportedly voicing their concerns. It's becoming clear they've reached their breaking point. This situation is now a ticking time bomb for Stefanski. If he continues to ignore Shedeur-Sanders, Haslam might be forced to make a change.
Sooner or later, they're going to have to really realize, like, hold on, dog.
We just got to see what we got in the locker room.
And then this is another thing. Big dog, you're losing games. And tick, 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 tick. You're on the clock. And even though that's the ticking time of a clock, it can also be the ticking time of a bomb.
Cam Newton has warned that Kevin Stefanski may not fully understand just how dangerous his situation has become in Cleveland right now. He believes that as the locker room grows louder and more frustrated, Stefanski absolutely has to make the right call for this next game. One more wrong decision, one more week of stubborn loyalty to Dillon Gabriel, and the pressure on him will explode.
And even though that's the ticking time of a clock, it can also be the ticking time of a bomb. So, be very mindful of the games that you play. I understand the tactic and I understand the protocol.
Looking at everything that's been unfolding, Stefanski's stubbornness, the growing tension within the locker room, and the mounting pressure from team owner Jimmy Haslam, it's becoming increasingly clear that the Cleveland Browns are headed toward a major decision. Despite all the signs pointing to Shedeur-Sanders as the key to turning this team around, Stefanski has consistently refused to give him a chance. The reactions from players like Myles Garrett, Njoku, Cedric, and Judy show that the locker room is losing faith in Stefanski's direction, and Cam Newton's warning further highlights the urgency of the situation. Haslam, who signed Sanders with the expectation that he would be the star of the team, is growing increasingly frustrated with Stefanski's refusal to even consider him. As the owner, Haslam has the power to make the final call, and it seems he's ready to use it. Reports and expert opinions all point in the same direction. Play Shedeur-Sanders, or Stefanski's time with the Browns may be up. The pressure on Stefanski is mounting, and with each passing week of losses, his position becomes more untenable. Haslam has made it clear that he wants a superstar, and right now, that's Shedeur-Sanders. The longer Stefanski holds out, the more his grip on the job weakens. The players are voicing their frustrations, the media is picking up on the tension, and Haslam is watching closely. Sooner or later, Stefanski will be faced with a crucial decision. Give Shedeur-Sanders the opportunity he deserves, or risk losing his job. The clock is ticking, and it's clear. Haslam is ready to say, play Shedeur or go home. The future of this team, and Stefanski's career, may depend on it. What do you think about the situation in Cleveland? Do you believe Stefanski is making a mistake by sticking with Dillon Gabriel, or should he give Shedeur-Sanders a chance to prove himself? How long do you think Haslam will tolerate the team's struggles before making a change? Will the growing frustration from players like Myles Garrett and the rest of the locker room push Stefanski out? And, most importantly, do you think Haslam will finally pull the trigger and say, play Shedeur or go home? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you.